Yorana, and welcome to FM Tahiti. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for joining me. In this episode, we're going to be playing just the one match, but it's going to be against Puka Puka Typhoons in the Inter-Island Cup. Just want to see how far we can get there. And it's the first season in the Cup. We probably won't treat it the same kind of respect in coming seasons, but it is something we're going to focus on for the moment. But we are getting close to the end of the season. So we played 23 matches now. You can see here we're fourth. We've got 45 points. Perhaps more importantly, we're only actually 2 points behind Marquesas Island Society. We've got some competition from Skybrights, Hitiraa, and Tuamotun way in advance. I think they're going to be the title winners this year, unless something horrendous happens. But we've got a chance of getting into second place, and second place brings with it continental qualification, and it also brings qualification for the French Cup next season, which are all important things to the club if we're going to grow and develop. Schedule wise, it's actually been so long since I played, I could not tell you when our last recording was. I think it might have been against Motu1, our last one, but we beat Bora Bora 4-0. Tavita, Tualu, Jordan Eseku and Johan Tahoni all popping up with goals. The Motu1 match was a kind of tight affair, but again Tavita, Riviera and Tua Fangaloka all involved in that one. But you can see our form's pretty good. We've got to go all the way back to December until we actually had a loss. So we're in a good run. So hopefully against Puka Puka, who are down in the championship, and by down in championship I mean low down in the championship, we should have a decent chance against them. What remains to be seen though is how our actual squad and tactic responds to the new patch. So this is February 11th, so the patch has been out a little while. I have played on the patch on other saves. It's a bit of a mixed bag. I'll maybe talk a little bit more about it when the match gets going. But there we go, standard formation for us. Tihoni's unfit and has been off the kind of bench, but we might bring him back onto the bench instead of Funaki. So we've got him as an option, or we would do if I dragged it properly. Put him on there. There we go. But otherwise, I think we're pretty good to go. Funaki is left back, the other Funaki. Tua Fangaloka, Parmentier, and Sao on the kind of back line. Safraz is still playing there. Huatani is still kind of forced into being a kind of only real defensive midfielder, so he's playing there. And we've got Eseku, our newish player, over on the left, doing the business for us. One of the two Fangalokas on the right, Riviera just behind the two strikers, and then Vea and Tavita, we'll call him. We'll run with this. We've got Penny Vakatupa, who is a 6'7" striker on the bench, so we've got a big man to bring on if we need to. And yeah, let's see how we go. I've got the camera off from this one because I look fairly dishevelled. And the lighting's terrible, so for the next video I might change that. They're going for a 4-5-1. Interesting. They've got a lot of Joes on their team as well. Right. They don't care about keeping the run going. That's fine. Let's see how this goes. So we're in our black and whites, and Puka Puka are playing in their away kit of red and yellow. So Puka Puka are a team from the Tuamotun Islands, or kind of exile islands as they're sometimes known as. And Puka Puka's island is also known as Disappointment Island, which I think I may have mentioned in the past. Presumably because when early explorers found it, they were disappointed with it in comparison to the islands we're trying to find. It's populated, does have an airstrip. They're called the Typhoons because, rather crassly, off me, the island was devastated by typhoons in the past. But one of their other nicknames is also the Dogs, because they have feral dogs. You kind of see the pattern, don't you, for some of the team names I've gone for the Tahitian teams. The more information I've got, the more names I've got to pick from, but we'll go with that. So Tavita, is he away there? Go on. Good save down low by Da Costa. So yeah, new patch, new match engine. Back post? Nah. I've been pretty successful with the new patch, and that isn't necessarily a good thing. It's not my favourite of the versions. If we say there are 3 match engine versions for FM20, release, public beta, and then this patch, which is likely the last patch unless there's something they have to hotfix out of it, I reckon. It's not my favourite one. I probably preferred either of the two beforehand. Probably the very first one, more long ball inclined. I think I've mentioned in other videos I never really had any issue with the one-on-ones. Go on to Vita. There we go, I scored that one. One-on-one. Nice through ball. Nice long ball-ish as well. Well, a through ball rather than a long ball maybe. Where is he? No, I think we can count this one as a long ball. It was in our half. So that's not bad. I enjoy seeing stuff like that. But to be honest, I never really had any issues with the match engine in the first place. It wasn't perfect, but it was perfectly sort of livable with. And I think each match engine version has just swapped where the issues are. I don't think it's improved match engine on match engine. It's just swapped the issues. So I think the one-on-one issues are less apparent in this one, and defensive tracking is a bit better. I think long balls have been toned down to where they were before. Oh, good head on there. Good position for a free kick. So I think things have been turned down and improved. I think the cost then has been... Oh, that wasn't a red card. I don't think that was a red card. And we'll take it. We're already goal up and a player up, so it'll work for us. It's a little bit harsh. Maybe we need VAR on in some of these games. Good ball. Doesn't come to anything, but it was a good cross-field ball. But yeah, I think it's just swapped issues around. So one of the things I've noticed in other games, not necessarily so far in any of these ones, but is, or this match in particular, oh, go on. Oh, nicely shaped, just didn't quite make it. Yeah, one of the things I've noticed is insane dribbles. Like players dribbling from their own box in some situations all the way through and then scoring at the other end. Like I've seen, I've got a recording of that, and I've got a few where that's happened and maybe they've just been blocked at the end or it's not come off, but it's almost worked. But basically a lot more dribbling and a lot less closing down of that dribbling. And I'm wondering, maybe have Sports Interactive dealt with the issue of playing through the centre and not having number 10s do as much by making dribbling a little bit easier or a little bit more powered, so that maybe we don't notice that as much, or maybe that kind of compensates for the lack of normal passing central play by having people break the lines by dribbling instead. That's a lot more blocking, but I'm fine with that. A lot more in the way of reckless two-footed tackles as well, which I love, which I'm quite a fan of. So it's a mixed bag for me, but it's not... It doesn't feel like it's a more polished version of any of the other match engines. It's just a swap, I think. And it's something we mentioned on the Dictate the Game podcast. So Simon Keane on there does a lot of the kind of Big Sam articles and stuff like that, pointing out that it's just a bit disappointing that Sports Interactive don't let you roll back to a version. So yeah, most people might prefer the patch, but it would be nice if we could just roll back to one of the earlier ones if that's what was working for us. And it's not that this one's game breaking or terrible, it's just the style of it is different. And I prefer the style of the others. But we'll adapt, we'll overcome, we're winning 1-0, so I can't really complain. And the tactic still seems to be working, still producing the way it should be. Go on, Veya, get past him. Utani, Taku, Tavita, almost. Let's make some subs. Let's bring on Oliver on for SQ just to rest him. Do the same. Let's bring on Laku, Tot Tuiaki. Yeah, him. Right winger on for him. And let's bring on not Johan Tihoni, because he's good for a goal, but he's tired. Let's wait. Let's bring on Penny Vakatapu for Veya and swap him around. So now we've got a 6'7" target man on there. And then for the last 20 minutes, we can just hope I've not made a mistake by doing that. Oh, interesting. Some tackles flying in there. 22 shots to their 4. I think it's fair to say we're dominating it in terms of shot production. Long ball in. Long throws work really well. I like a good Rory Delap long throw, but a few things people have mentioned in the forums is that it works even though people might not have the long throw trait or really good long throw attributes. That's kind of true. Some of my players taking the long throws don't have great attributes for it, but they're still Not necessarily putting like long flat bullet throws in, but throw-ins like that cause trouble. Go on. Let's just keep all of this. Tavita, one more goal to finish it off would be nice. Takes it inside. That was good. Oh, look at that slide tackle in. Kept it alive. So it's promising play. And I think with the kind of Tavita signing and the Esaku signing, I think the squad's been improved to the point where if we'd started off with it, maybe we would have had a chance of going for the title from the very first season. But I am kind of glad we didn't go straight into that, because that would have been it'd have been a quick YouTube save, I think, if we'd gone straight in and won the title. It will take a long time to get to the point where we're dominant internationally or anything like that, but it made it very easy to dominate domestically from the off if we'd done that. I mean, it isn't out of our hands completely, but it's almost there. And there we go, 1-0. We did dominate them. 31 shots there, 5. Once they had that player sent off, they never really got into it, did they? Good win. Everyone's happy with that. Good. Be delighted. So there we go. We get through to the next round. What's the schedule for this? So the next round's actually quarterfinals. And then semis, then finals. And the final taking place after April. So 16th of May will be the final. So depending on what goes on, and when it's the next round schedule, we might come back for that, we might not. Looking at the schedule, you can see that we've got one league match, then the quarterfinal, then these 3. I think I might do these last 2 matches, depending on what happens in the cup, as their own kind of their own sort of bumper episode. We'll see how we get on. We'll see what the draw is. If it's against a really interesting team, I'll come back for the quarterfinal. But otherwise, I'll wait until we're in the semi-finals until we pick this one back up again. So it's probably going to be the semi-finals. So the next match might be against Huahin and Skybrights to finish off our season, or it might be a little bit earlier if things change and our position in the league table changes and it's a bit more of a battle going on and things like that. But we shall see. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in a future episode.